See, it kind of becomes golden handcuffs, doesn't it? Where now you figure, I'm going to work more hours, so now you have more money, but you have less time in your life, which I'm not quite sure if that's the trade-off we want, considering the time that we have on this planet is pretty limited as it is. You know your business has more potential, but you just don't know how to scale it to get it to reach its fullest potential. Well, here's a solution. Hi, I'm Bedros Keuilian, and this is Craig Ballantyne. Welcome to the Empire Podcast Show. And today we're going to talk about scaling and structuring your business so that it reaches its fullest potential. But we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about one of our Empire Mastermind members, Jason Phillips, who has scaled a business to the tune of $100,000 a month.
Now, you know, most people are probably thinking when they hear scaling a business, they think of a product or a software. But you know what? You can also scale a coaching business.
Sure.
This is what Jason has done. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh, this doesn't, apply to me, you are going to be totally wrong, because you can scale any business. So let's start walking through this case study.
Yeah, so Jason is an expert at taking someone's poor diets and restructuring it so that they can achieve an outcome. The outcome is one of two things. They're either going to lose weight or they're going to add muscle and get better at a certain performance, because he works with athletes and general population. Now, he was good at doing this on a one-on-one basis, but he quickly found that he had greater demand than his schedule would allow him for.
As most people do, and they think, oh, this is the end of the road. I'm just going to be working 50 hours, 55 hours, 60 hours. But he figured a way out of this. Tell us more.
Yeah, see, it kind of becomes golden handcuffs, doesn't it? Where now you figure, I'm going to work more hours, so now you have more money, but you have less time in your life, which I'm not quite sure if that's the trade-off we want, considering the time that we have on this planet is pretty limited as it is. And so you have more money on hand, but you have less time. And here's something else that happens. You burn out and you deliver shitty service when you have a bunch of coaching clients.
Right? Or you have an anxiety attack.
Or you have an anxiety attack, right. But what Jason did was something unique and different. He said, I need quality coaches. And so what if I think outside of the box and reach out to my clients who have already worked with me and say, hey, would you like to get certified and do what I do? Right? So instead of thinking scarcity-minded, gee, I'm creating competition, he said, what if I certify them? So he made an offer to his coaching clients and to people who followed him on Instagram and social media. And he said, what if I create a coaching program, a two-day certification? And he had people come out for this 2-day certification.
So he monetized his scalability.
Yes. So he taught, in exchange for money, the stuff that he was doing to help people lose weight and improve their performance. There at the 2-day certification course, he saw who the winners were. He saw the dogs that know how to hunt.
Oh.
And he took those dogs and he said, rather than starting your own business, wouldn't you rather work with me and we can do a revenue share? I can just get the leads and then hand them over to you, and you don't ever have to do the marketing and selling ever.
Right. They just want to do the fun stuff. They want to make the meal plans. They don't want to do the marketing and selling, and they would never have any clients if they had to, right?
That's exactly right, because they looked at it just like, who talks about this? And Michael Gerber talks about this in E-Myth.
Oh, right.
Sally, who owns the pie shop. And everyone says, Sally, you make such an amazing pie. You got to go and open up a shop in a bakery. You got to sell pies. The world needs your pies. And Sally goes and opens up a pie shop. Sally doesn't realize she's committing to a 5-year lease. Sally doesn't realize there's build-out necessary. Sally doesn't realize she's competing against the big box grocery stores. Sally doesn't realize that she has to have P&L reports, marketing, and sales. And Sally doesn't realize that she's in charge of payroll.
And therefore, she's going to be working 16 hours a day.
And now Sally is stressing out. Now, wouldn't Sally rather take her pie-making abilities and put it under someone else's roof? And this is exactly the pitch that Jason Phillips gave to these people who paid to come to his 2-day certification. He says, look, you have to do all these things in order to get clients and service them. When really, you don't want to market, you don't want to have payroll, you don't want to sell, you don't want to create structure. How about I give you the clients and we split the revenue 50-50? And he took the best, most with it certified coaches that he created, and now he's got an army of 16 coaches plus him, and together they serve over 600 clients that bring in over $100,000 a month in revenue.
So he plugged them into a system that worked. And when you have systems that work, you save yourself time, energy, stress, time, energy, and money.
Yep.
And you are able to scale. So let's talk about the systems that someone would need to have in order to scale any type of business.
Yeah. So some of the skills you're going to need to have to scale a business is real simple. You say, what is the thing that I do that I trade for dollars, right? Basically an effort in exchange for time or dollars that I can teach other people to do and do a revenue share. Oh, it's writing out nutrition programs, understanding macros, or being a good coach, life coach, self-development coach.
Even financial advisors do
Financial
this.
advisors can do this, right? If you're a great financial advisor, you're a great real estate agent. Well, there's other agents or other advisors who can work under you. So whatever that skill is, you have to then now find a way to replicate it in others. That's system number one, is how can I replicate the thing that I'm getting money for in others? And so you either run a workshop or a certification course. And in Jason's case, he got paid by others to come to a 2-day workshop where he could cherry pick the best people who would make fantastic coaches in his business.
Awesome. And you know what? This isn't just something that people are doing at a small scale, which Jason started at a small scale. He's now at a much bigger scale. But this goes on. This is a huge opportunity in every industry. So can I tell you a story about LeBron James?
Sure.
So LeBron James had a huge contract with McDonald's to be in their ads, to do all these things, and he gave up that money. I think it was $30 million.
Holy smokes.
You know why he did it?
I don't know.
Because he knows that his new opportunity can scale to so much more. So he's an investor in a company called Blaze Pizza. And Blaze Pizza is the fastest growing pizza franchise in America. They went from like 0 to 200 locations in about 18 months. And this company is scaling. And LeBron, I was going to call him Bedros there, LeBedros, he saw this opportunity and he realized, you know what, I'm willing to put aside guaranteed money for the huge chunk of opportunity in a business that can scale, that I can have a part of by putting in place systems. Systems run a pizza franchise, and it's like make your own. It's like the Chipotle of pizzas.
Yep.
And that way, he is going to become a bigger empire builder because of this scalability and systems mindset.
Now, when you look at that model, it's exactly kind of what we talked about here. We get so locked on and doing all the work ourselves. Well, I'm getting more clients, I'm making more money, but soon I'm having anxiety attacks, I don't see my family, and I'm burning out. Well, LeBron could have been handcuffed to McDonald's because there would have been a conflict of interest between McDonald's and Blaze Pizza. But instead, he chose to tighten the belt a little bit, which is what we've been talking about here today, to tighten the belt for a little bit, put that $30 million aside. By the way, if it's $30 million, $30,000, $300, or just $30, it doesn't much matter. He's putting immediate gratification to one side with the opportunity that he's got to scale a business that could be sold for literally $1 billion or more as a franchise.
Absolutely. So let's walk through this. So really it starts with proof of concept. You know, Jason went and he had successful clients. Okay, now let's go and replicate the concept. Then you build in the scale and structure and systems in order to grow and scale the business. And it's really about, maybe even going back to the start, thinking bigger, right?
It really is about thinking bigger. And it's funny because now what we're working with Jason on in the Empire Mastermind is how do we get him to not be the face of the business anymore? Just like Fit Body Bootcamp grew on my back. I was the face of it. But today, I want Fit Body Bootcamp, the brand, to be the face of it, right? How do we get Jason pulled out so he's not the face of it anymore so that he can write a book? So he's working with our friend Tucker Max at Book in a Box, and he's writing a book because he's getting coaches now at such a fast pace that he's writing a book about how you can finally achieve your lean body, right? And that book is going to be driving traffic to his coaches. And so talk about thinking bigger. This will end up being a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year business, or $400,000 a month business, because now he's got a process of creating coaches, and through his book, by positioning himself as the authority and his process as the authority, definitive fact on how to lose weight and keep it off, that book is going to drive more traffic to the coaches, and he will build a business that can be sold for tens of millions of dollars.
And you know what? He is scaling himself. So he was, first of all, doing the meal plans. Then he scaled himself to certifying the coaches. Now he's scaling himself to being that person who brings in so much more attention to the business, and then he's going to scale to the next level and next level and next level. So it's all about personal development along with having those systems in place to help you build your empire, right?
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, to that point, let's be fully transparent here. You and I have known Jason Phillips for a long time, and we say this with
Probably like 6 years, yeah.
probably 6 years, and we say this with love and respect. But someone who could look at Jason Phillips now and say he's a guy who's doing $100,000 a month, you and I knew the flaky Jason Phillips, and
He struggled for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, and he struggled. He had self-doubt. He was flaky. But the fact of the matter is that he was able to turn that corner. So anybody watching this saying that, well, Jason Phillips must be a unicorn and therefore there's something unique and different about him, I'm here to tell you that you and I have personally known him for a long time before he was a coaching client, and he would say one thing but do another. And he was incongruent. We talk about this when he was here the other day, and so I can talk about this freely. But I said, Jason, I'm so impressed with how you've turned a corner. Today, when he says, Bedros, I'm going to do this, he contacted Tucker the moment that I introduced him, and he signed the deal to write the book. I introduced him to 5 different people that he's going to go and make connections with to be on their podcast. He contacted them over that same exact weekend and CC'd me on it. And the new action taker that he has become, it's like Jason 2.0. Nice. So my challenge to everybody watching this is, where is the 2.0 in you so that you can turn that corner, scale your idea so that your business can reach its fullest potential.
And become an empire.